If you've been to a grocery store lately, you've probably noticed that prices aren't exactly what they used to be. Food is expensive, but if you happen to shop at Erewhon, you might not have noticed at all, because at Erewhon, everything is expensive. Wait, what the heck is Erewhon? Well, today, we're diving into the world of America's most expensive grocery store, a place where a smoothie can cost as much as a full meal and a tote bag is practically a status symbol. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to Weird History Food. And hey, drop a comment below. What other ultra pricey stores should we cover next? Alright, time to stock up on overpriced avocado toast. Now, Erewhon is high profile enough to have been mocked on South Park, but it's still not exactly a household name. Most Americans have never even seen one. So, for the record, Erewhon is a luxury grocery chain with 10 locations, all in California. 9 are in Los Angeles, and 1 is in Pasadena. You know, the place that little old lady from the Beach Boys song wouldn't stop singing about. And when we say luxury, we mean it. Erewhon makes Whole Foods look like a Dollar General. You'd think those sky-high prices would scare people away, but oddly enough, it does the opposite. Erewhon's ridiculous price tags have actually attracted celebrities and influencers, turning it into a cultural phenomenon. It's not just a grocery store, it's a status symbol. But make no mistake, Erewhon is not your typical supermarket. Sure, it has aisles of fresh produce and private label pantry staples, and yes, it sells some actual food, things like ranch-flavored kale chips, buffalo cauliflower, and even sushi sandwiches, but Erewhon isn't really about groceries. People flock here just as much for the powders, gels, and supplements as they do for actual meals. The store is packed with trendy wellness products like maca powder, sea moss gel, and chlorophyll, because apparently your body needs these things to function at peak influencer levels. And then there's the cafe and tonic bar, where customers casually sip on a $20 smoothie or munch on a $15 snack while deciding whether they should drop $30 on a bottle of artisanal water. Oh, and don't forget the branded merch, because Erewhon tote bags and trucker hats have somehow become fashion statements. Sure, Kroger has tote bags too, but let's be real. An X-Men tote doesn't carry the same clout. Now, Erewhon isn't exactly a place for bargain hunters. In fact, it's one of those stores where if you have to ask how much something costs, you probably shouldn't be shopping there. That exclusivity is part of the brand's appeal. For example, at a regular grocery store, you can grab a 16-ounce bottle of hand soap for around $3. At Erewhon, their store brand hand soap costs, well, let's just say you might need to take out a small loan. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about the soap. At Erewhon, a single bottle of hand soap costs $26. Yep, you heard that right. 26 bucks. Now, to be fair, the Erewhon website claims it's eco-friendly and infused with essential oils like cedarwood, lavender, orange, and rosemary. But for that price, it better do more than clean your hands. It should make your skin bulletproof like Luke Cage, or at the very least as durable as Blankman's costume, and the sticker shock doesn't stop there. A regular 6-pack of Coke will run you $6 to $7 at a normal grocery store, but a 6-pack of Erewhon's artisanal soda, which comes in flavors like ginger, green apple, jasmine, and watermelon lime, will set you back $35. That's about $6 per bottle. Why so much? Well, according to Erewhon's website, this soda is packed with 24 probiotic strains and is supposed to support a healthy microbiome and enhance digestive wellness. Does Coke do that? Probably not. But does that justify the price? You decide. And believe it or not, that's just the beginning. At Erewhon, a gallon of milk costs $20. A 64-ounce bottle of water, $26. And 32 ounces of orange juice will drain $15 from your wallet. That means before you've even eaten breakfast, you've already spent as much as a full tank of gas, and we haven't even gotten to the actual food yet. Let's talk nuts. If you want 18 ounces of almonds, be ready to cough up $25. A 17-ounce bottle of balsamic vinegar, that's $50. A 16-ounce container of yogurt, that's $24. And if you're craving maple syrup, a 32-ounce bottle will cost you $43. Oh, and that rotisserie chicken Whole Foods sells for $12. Erewhon dares to charge $22 for the same thing. So yeah, if you're someone who clips coupons, Erewhon is probably not the place for you, but that raises an interesting question. Why? Why is Erewhon so ridiculously expensive? Why would a grocery store make itself so exclusive that most people can't afford to shop there? To answer that, we need to take a little trip back in time. In 1872, English writer Samuel Butler published what would become his most famous satirical novel, Erewhon, which, fun fact, is an anagram for nowhere. The book describes a fictional country where everyone is responsible for their own health, and if you get sick, well, that's a crime. This idea of taking extreme control over personal health is what inspired Aveline and Michio Kushi, the founders of Erewhon, to use the name when they opened their first health food store in Boston in 1966. The Japanese couple, widely credited with pioneering the macrobiotic lifestyle movement, believed that the nutritional value of food had been declining for decades. They wanted to change that, and of course make money while doing it. That's how the first Erewhon store was born. But it wasn't the ultra-luxury grocery chain we know today. Back then, it was a tiny stall in the basement of a market. Just a counter and a few shelves. But Erewhon didn't stay a tiny basement shop for long. The business took off, and the Kushis quickly upgraded to a bigger location across the street. Not long after, they packed up their bags and their business and moved to Los Angeles, California. Cue the Beverly Hillbillies theme, swimming pool, movie stars, overpriced smoothies, but life in the big city wasn't as glamorous as it seemed. After its early success, Erewhon fell into decades of financial trouble. The store was mismanaged, and the Kushis didn't exactly help their reputation by claiming the macrobiotic diet could cure AIDS, which, for the record, it absolutely cannot. Eventually, the business went bankrupt. In the early 1980s, an employee named Tom DeSilva bought the failing store and tried to revamp its image. Under DeSilva and his wife, Erewhon became a new age health food shop, where red meat was banned because it was considered poisonous. But oddly enough, American Spirit cigarettes were totally fine because they were organic. Wait, has anyone ever tried smoking red meat? Asking for a friend. But the real Erewhon story doesn't start until 2011. That's when De Silva's widow sold the last remaining store to Tony and Josephine Antisi, an Italian couple who had just made a fortune selling their food business. They bought Erewhon on a whim, not really knowing what they were going to do with it, but luckily for them, their gamble paid off. The Antiquus didn't instantly turn Erewhon into the ultra-luxury shopping destination it is today. The shift really began in 2014 when they opened their second location in the foothills of Calabasas. You know, the kind of place where you're almost guaranteed to run into a Kardashian. Then, in 2018, Kanye West tweeted about Erewhon, and suddenly the internet lost its mind. Fans rushed to get their hands on Erewhon branded merch, which at the time only existed in bootleg form. But the thing that really turbocharged Erewhon's rise to fame? The COVID-19 pandemic. When the world shut down in 2020, grocery stores became one of the only places people could still visit. Erewhon saw an opportunity and leaned into influencer marketing like never before. Their first big move? A celebrity smoothie collab with TikTok star Tinks. If you're over 30, don't worry. Half of these words probably sound like gibberish, but the promotion was a massive hit. So big, in fact, that Erewhon has been partnering with celebrities on exclusive smoothies ever since. Names like Bella Hadid and Kourtney Kardashian have jumped on the trend, creating their own signature drinks. And now, Erewhon isn't just a grocery store, it's a cultural phenomenon. And speaking of smoothies, let's just say they're the stuff of legend, or at least wallet-busting fame. The Erewhon smoothies can set you back anywhere from $1 to $20. So yeah, it's not just your average smoothie. In 2022, Erewhon went viral on TikTok when Hailey Bieber endorsed the strawberry glazed smoothie, kicking off a massive wave of Erewhon-themed content that generated hundreds of millions of views. It wasn't just the smoothies that got people talking, though. The combination of sky-high prices and celebrity endorsements has made Erewhon the go-to spot for A-listers. Celebrities like Miley Cyrus, Cara Delevingne, Jake Gyllenhaal, A.P. Rocky, and Hilary Duff have all been spotted grabbing a snack or smoothie. And Erewhon isn't exactly trying to hide the fact that it's catering to the wealthy elite. The company's strategy has transformed it into a trendier, glitzier version of Whole Foods. Think of it as Cartman Land, but for rich people. But what's it actually like to shop where Jake Gyllenhaal shops? For starters, Erewhon stores are often called beautiful, small, but designed with care. The company says each store is designed to match the local vibe, and you can definitely see that reflected in the store's aesthetic. The interiors feature natural materials, and the food prep areas are exposed, giving customers a sense of transparency. It's almost like a little food art gallery, with shelves lined with aesthetic products that look like they belong in a designer's dream. Even the produce often looks too good to touch, but here's the catch. Most people don't come to Erewhon for the groceries. It's the prepared foods that really draw the crowds. It's not unusual to find that section of the store packed with people, and as we've mentioned, the prices are off the charts. One TikToker realized that even a small shopping trip at Erewhon could cost nearly $400, while another spent over $1,000 just to make nachos. And yes, they did use an entire tin of caviar in the recipe. So, there's that. If your wallet is still crying, Erewhon offers a $100 cafe membership that gives you a 10% discount on everything and a free drink every month. But of course, if that's not exclusive enough for you, there's also their Membership Plus program, which is an even higher tier for those who really want to feel fancy. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Why are the prices so ridiculously high? Erewhon says it's because of the high-quality ingredients they use. And sure, there's probably some truth to that. But critics argue that Erewhon is really selling perceived value, the idea that expensive stuff is automatically better. It's a clever marketing tactic. Make the prices so high and people will assume the quality must be through the roof. It's a classic sales trick that's hard to ignore when you're staring at a $20 smoothie, but there's also a much less generous theory that Erewhon's pricing is designed to keep the ordinary folk out. The high prices pretty much guarantee that only the ultra-wealthy can shop there. Whether that was the plan all along or not, that's what's happening. While we totally get that Tom Cruise might not want to be spotted at his local Ralph's, not that he does his own shopping, the rest of us will just have to press our faces up against the windows and dream about those fancy smoothies. So, what do you think? Would you ever shop at Erewhon? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, be sure to check out